Hello, hello, everybody. How are you? Just clicking some buttons here, trying to get back to you. I am super excited to be here back with you for this week's Soulful Abundance Business Training. Woo, it is hot here in North Carolina, y'all. Y'all, you like that? Anyways, if you're here and you're watching live with me, please post in the comments, #live. If you're watching the replay, #replay. And as always, I will circle back around to any questions, comments, whatever is popping up for you. Please let me know in the chat and let me know, how's the weather where you are? It's really hot here today. As a matter of fact, this past weekend, it was so weird. North Carolina just has a mind of her own, I have to say. You know, it was rainy, and now it's hot. And yesterday, me and my husband went to Lowe's and we decided that we were going to do some weeding in the garden because best time to do weeding is after it's rained, right? When all the roots are easier to pull out. So we got 3 garden beds all taken care of, got some beautiful plants planted in our pots that we keep up on the deck, and got some wildflowers planted. I'm so super excited. I love wildflowers. Which leads me into what it is that I want to chat with you today, which is what is the number one thing that is stopping you from enrolling more clients? I'm curious. If you are here with me, let me know in the chat. What do you think the number one thing is that is stopping you from enrolling more clients? Hey, Elisa, how are you? So just trying to move my... It's so funny, being on Zoom and then also streaming this into Facebook, because there's such a lag on Facebook, right? That I might not see your question right away or your comment, but I will keep looking for them. So Alyssa says, it's freezing here, snowing again. Oh my God, that's crazy. 80 degrees last week and snowing again, right? It's insane. So let me know if you're watching the replay, pop in the chat. What do you think is the number one thing that's stopping you from enrolling more clients? I want to hear, I want to see kind of like what is coming up for you guys. What do you feel is getting in your way? I have my own theory that I'm going to get to share with you today. And I actually did a little bit of a rant around this today on my Facebook Live, on my personal page or my personal profile. And I keep hearing this over and over and over again. I wasn't actually going to do a training on this particular topic today, but I was in another group and I just was like, this keeps coming up. This keeps coming up. Like we were talking about what is keeping our clients from really creating results. And, things that people were popping in the chat on this in this group program were, being afraid to be salesy, right? Being afraid to make offers, being afraid to sell. And one of the things that I know that I keep hearing over and over and over again is, I just want to help people. I don't want to make any money. I don't want to have to deal with money. I just want to help people. And I just kind of got riled up on that because as women, I think there's this cultural entrainment that we are supposed to give and not receive, right? We don't ask for help when we need it. We put too much on our plates. I am one of those. I tend to overbook and double book and take too much on my plate. I'm recovering on that. We tend to be more perfectionist, right? Not wanting to ask for help, not wanting to do it wrong. And yet we don't allow ourselves to receive. We don't allow ourselves to receive. And that, sister, is the number one thing that is blocking you from creating more clients, enrolling more clients, and having more people reach out to you. If you will not allow yourself to receive, whether it's receiving help, whether it's receiving more joy, whether it's receiving cash for your services, you are kinking the hose to abundance. And I want you to think about it this way. Abundance only works when there is a flow going. And by flow, there has to be a flow of both give and take. There has to be a flow of giving and receiving. Let me take that word take back. That doesn't feel very good on my body. There's a flow of giving to others and receiving. If you are only giving and not receiving, you're putting a kink into the hose. If you are only taking and not giving, you're putting a kink in the hose. There has to be a balance, a harmony between giving and receiving. And where most wellness entrepreneurs get stuck is in receiving. right? We're so good at giving. We're so good at nurturing. We're so good at helping. We're so good at, doing what it is that we love to do. And yet we keep ourselves from actually experiencing the abundance that we say that we want because we don't ask people to work with us. We don't invite people to take the next step to work with us because we're afraid. We're afraid of somebody else's perception. We're afraid of being that tall poppy that is going to be cut in the field, right? There's this analogy of the tall poppy, right? Nobody wants to be the tall poppy. The tall poppy is the one that gets singled out and the one that gets cut to get put in the vase at home, right? So we tend to give, but not actually allow us to receive. Or we tend to give, and never ask somebody to work with us so that they can get the transformation that they want. And oh my gosh, this is so backwards, you guys, but we do it, right? I know I did it. When I first started out in my business, and I really want to try to clear this up, because until this is cleared up, you're going to struggle. Until this is cleared up, you are still going to be looking at less cash in your bank account than you want, more debt than you want, and just not having the experience of the fulfilling life that you want to have and the way that you get to serve your clients. Why? Here's how this goes. If you are constantly giving and giving and giving and giving of your energy out into the world, what ends up happening if you don't receive is that you don't have very much left for you to show up in the world as your most empowered self, as the leader, as the wellness entrepreneur that you want to do. What ends up happening is that we end up struggling just to survive. And we do that energetically, but we also do that materially as well. If we do not allow ourselves to receive income, if we do not allow ourselves to receive a soulful exchange, and that's really what it is, it's a soulful exchange. Payment for our services is a soulful exchange. If we do not allow ourselves to do that, then what happens is that we're struggling to survive. It means that we are going to have to create money in some other way, shape, or form just to eat, just to pay for a place to stay, just to take care of our kids, just to do the basics and give ourselves the basic necessity. And if we're doing that, if we're putting our energy in that direction just to survive, you can't show up in full service to the people that you want to help. You can't. There's nothing left to give. There's nothing left to give. And so one of the best ways that you can show up as the most empowered leader, as the wellness entrepreneur, as the practitioner, as the soulful leader that you are, is to allow yourself to be in the flow with this exchange. And there's a reason why we call it an exchange, because it is an exchange. There is a currency that happens. There is a giving and a serving and a receiving for those gifts. And this, my friend, has to happen. So I want to ask you, what energy are you in? Are you in the energy of kinking the hose, that you are afraid to receive money for the services that are going to help people create happier, healthier lives? Or are you in the energy of giving, not allowing yourself to receive, or taking, and not giving, right? Here's the way taking looks like. When we are trying to take somebody who is a stranger in our world right into a buyer. We're trying to take, right? There's no energy exchange there. There has been no nurturing there. That's why it feels off. That's why it feels icky. When we are in a give and take flow, when we are sharing, when we are serving, when we're generous, and when we allow people to work with us, allow there to be a soulful exchange, invite somebody to take that next step so that they can have the transformation that they're looking for, then a beautiful soulful exchange happens. So what energy are you in? I want you to let me know. Pop it in the chat. What energy are you in? Are you in the energy of being afraid to receive and overgiving? Or are you in the energy of trying to take a stranger into a buyer by just kind of like inviting premature marriage proposal? And look, we get all in that all the time, right? We can tend to go back and forth unless you are really, really clear about what energy you want to be in, which again is the energy of this harmonious flow. And when we're in that harmonious flow, we're also in our feminine and our masculine too. We're in a really healthy place to be because we are allowing for the soulful exchange. We're allowing for the giving and the nurturing, and we're allowing for the receiving so that they can get the help that they need. All right, my friends. Woo, this is a biggie, right? This really is the number one thing. It's not getting another certification. It's first starting here. And this is what I also teach my clients inside of Activate Abundance Academy. If you want my support inside of Activate Abundance Academy and you want to join and know the entire thing, the whole shebang, which is how are we showing up in the world so that you have this beautiful combination of soulful strategy, soulful exchange, a way to attract people into your world and invite them to take the natural next step with you and nurture them before you actually invite them to take the next step with you in a way that feels really good and natural and aligned. That's everything that I teach inside of Activate Abundance Academy. So if you want more support around this, if this resonates with you, pop a 1 in the chat. If this resonates with you, if you want to have a more soulful, aligned way so that you can be in this beautiful flow of give and receive, let me know if this resonates with you, right? And then also, please let me know in the chat, what energy do you feel that you're in most often? Are you trying to take a stranger into a buyer, which is give, which is taking? Or are you giving and never asking anybody to work with you and giving them the invitation to get off of Pain Island and get onto Pleasure Island so that they can actually have the result that they want? All right, friends, have a great Monday. I cannot wait to read the comments. I'm going to circle back around. By the way, if you have a question about this, let me know. I answer all of this myself. I don't have a team member coming in here. I promise I will respond to all of your comments, and I promise I will respond inside the DM too. So if you want to learn more about Activate Abundance, just pop me a DM. I don't try to convince or persuade you. I will answer some questions inside of Messenger, ask you where you are in your business, kind of where you're getting stuck. And if it makes sense to hop on a quick call to create more clarity, happy to do that and support you that way too. All right, peace out. Have an amazing week today. Bye.